The tension at the stadium last Sunday was palpable as the boys secured a dramatic 3-2 victory against Kilmarnock. Neil McCann has been particularly vocal about the nature of the winning goal, expressing a level of frustration that has certainly caught the attention of the Parkhead faithful. While McCann rages about the officiating and the timing of the strike, the Green and White Army are only interested in the 3 points that keep the momentum swinging in our favour. This victory was essential, not just for the Scottish Premiership standings, but as a psychological platform for what is coming later tonight. I will delve into the specific tactical breakdown of that Kilmarnock game in just a moment, but first, we must acknowledge the immense task facing Martin O'Neill and his squad in the Europa League. Today is Thursday, February 19, and the atmosphere in Glasgow is electric as we prepare to host Stuttgart. This is a massive night for the club, a night where legends are made and where the European pedigree of Celtic Football Club is put to the ultimate test. The controversy surrounding last Sunday has not quietened down, even as the focus shifts to the continent. Neil McCann was visibly incensed on television, claiming that the officials failed to manage the closing stages of the match correctly. He argued that the momentum was unfairly shifted, allowing the Celts to find that late, decisive goal. From a Celtic perspective, however, it was simply a case of playing until the final whistle, a characteristic that Martin O'Neill has instilled in this group of players. The grit shown by Alistair Johnston and Liam Scales at the back provided the foundation for the attackers to take risks late on. When the ball hit the back of the net, the scenes in the stands were a reminder of why this club is so special. However, the media narrative has focused heavily on the complaints from the opposition. We have seen this story before, where the resilience of the Hoops is overlooked in favour of debating a refereeing decision. I will explore exactly why the fans are so defensive of this team in a few minutes, but we must first look at the man between the sticks who has been a topic of major conversation across Europe. Kasper Schmeichel has been under intense scrutiny since arriving at the club. The Danish international has a massive reputation to uphold, and the expectations from the Parkhead faithful are sky high. Interestingly, Uefa has released their latest rankings for goalkeepers in the 2025-2026 Europa League campaign. Despite some of the criticism he has faced from local pundits, the European governing body sees things quite differently. They have ranked Kasper Schmeichel among the top tier of shot stoppers in the competition, citing his distribution and his leadership during high-pressure moments. This is a significant boost for the player as he prepares to face the Stuttgart attackers later tonight. It is one thing to be judged by the Scottish media, but to have your statistics and performances validated on a European level speaks volumes. Martin O'Neill has remained steadfast in his support for Schmeichel, often mentioning that his experience in the English Premier League and at international level is invaluable for a squad that contains younger defenders like Benjamin Arthur and Colby Donovan. The rankings provided by UEFA take into account clean sheets, save percentages, and the difficulty of the shots faced. For Kasper Schmeichel to be placed so highly suggests that the underlying numbers are far better than some critics suggest. While some fans were frustrated after the goals conceded last Sunday, it is important to remember the context of those situations. Defending is a collective effort, and with the likes of Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty still building their understanding as a partnership, the goalkeeper is often left exposed. Tonight against Stuttgart, Schmeichel will need to be at his absolute best. The German side is known for their high pressing and rapid transitions, which will test our defensive organisation to the limit. I will discuss the specific threats Stuttgart pose and how Martin O'Neill plans to counter them shortly, but first, let us consider the comments made by Stephen Naismith regarding a potential transfer target that has long been linked with the Green and White Army. Lewis Ferguson has been a name on the lips of many supporters for several transfer windows. The midfielder has been performing exceptionally well in Italy, and many believed a return to Scotland with either Celtic or Rangers was inevitable. However, Stephen Naismith has recently claimed that both Glasgow Giants will no longer be in the running for his signature. According to Naismith, the price tag and the player's own career trajectory have moved beyond what the Scottish Premiership can offer at this stage. This might come as a disappointment to some, but when you look at the current midfield options available to Martin O'Neill, it becomes clear why the club might not be desperate to break the bank. With Callum McGregor leading the way and Rio Hatate providing the creative spark, the engine room is already functioning at a very high level. Furthermore, the emergence of Aaron Engels and the reliable performances of Paulo Bernardo have given the manager plenty of headaches in terms of selection. Last Tuesday, the discussion surrounding Lewis Ferguson intensified when it was revealed that several top-tier clubs in Europe are monitoring his progress. If the Hoops were to enter a bidding war, it would likely require a fee in excess of £20 million. President Brian Wilson has been careful with the club's finances, ensuring that any major investment is sustainable for the long term. While Ferguson is a talented player, the recruitment team seems focused on different profiles. We have seen the impact of players like Luke McCowan, who joined the club and immediately understood the expectations of the Parkhead faithful. The tactical flexibility offered by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and the technical ability of Benjamin Nygren also suggest that the midfield is well stocked for the challenges ahead. I will talk about how this midfield depth will be crucial for the Europa League tonight in a moment, but first, we must look back at the fan reaction from last Monday following the dramatic scenes at the weekend. The Celtic fans are known for their passion, but the scenes following the stoppage time winner last Sunday were on another level. Footage has been circulating of the Green and White Army celebrating in a way that shows just how much this title race means to them. It was not just about the 3 points, it was about the defiance against the narrative that the team is struggling. When the goal went in, the release of tension was incredible. However, this has also led to a debate about fan conduct and the intensity of the celebrations. Some observers have suggested that the reaction was over the top, but those people do not understand the culture of Celtic Football Club. For the Parkhead faithful, every goal is a battle won, and every win is a step closer to glory. Martin O'Neill commented on this, stating that the energy from the stands is what carries the players over the line when their legs are tired. This energy will be needed more than ever tonight as the Europa League anthem echoes around the stadium. Stuttgart are not coming to Glasgow just to make up the numbers. They are a disciplined, well-coached side that will look to silence the home crowd early on. The tactical battle between Martin O'Neill and the Stuttgart coaching staff will be fascinating. We expect to see a very aggressive approach from the boys, with Daizen Maeda and Hotta providing the pace on the wings to stretch the German defense. The role of Kelechi Iheanacho in the forward line will be vital, as he needs to hold the ball up and bring others into play. If the Celts can dominate the early exchanges, it will set the tone for the rest of the evening. I will give you my full score prediction for the big match at the end of this video, but first, let us analyze the defensive situation with Kieran Tierney and the rest of the back four. The return of Kieran Tierney has been a major talking point among the supporters. Having a player of his quality back in the squad provides a massive boost, both in terms of ability and mentality. Tierney knows exactly what it means to play for the Hoops, and his overlapping runs on the left flank are a key component of our attacking play. Last Tuesday, he was seen training intensely, and many expect him to start tonight. With Marcelo Saraki and Julian Araujo also competing for places, the competition in the full-back positions is fiercer than ever. Anthony Ralston remains a reliable option on the right, but the modern game requires defenders who can contribute significantly to the attack. Martin O'Neill has a wealth of options, including the youth and exuberance of Dane Murray and Benjamin Arthur. The key tonight will be balance. We cannot afford to be too expansive and leave ourselves open to the counter-attack, which is exactly what Stuttgart will be looking for. Stuttgart's tactical setup often involves a compact midfield and quick transitions through the wide areas. This means our midfielders, particularly Callum McGregor and Paulo Bernardo, will have to be disciplined in their positioning. They cannot afford to leave the central defenders, like Liam Scales and Cameron Carter-Vickers, isolated against the Stuttgart strikers. We have seen in previous Europa League matches how quickly the game can change if you lose concentration for even a second. The experience of Kasper Schmeichel will be crucial in organising the line and ensuring that the communication is constant. The Parkhead faithful will be the 12th man, creating an intimidating atmosphere that has rattled some of the biggest teams in Europe in the past. It is about making the stadium a fortress once again. In terms of individual battles, the matchup between Hotta and the Stuttgart right-back will be one to watch. Hotta has the ability to beat a man and deliver a cross that can cause chaos in the box. With players like Michel Ange-Balikwisha and Thomas Kvankara waiting to pounce, the service from the wide areas must be pinpoint. We also have the trickery of Hyun Jun-young and the raw power of Junior Adamu to come off the bench if we need a different approach. The squad depth is arguably the strongest it has been in years, and Martin O'Neill is making full use of it. The rotation of the squad has been necessary given the heavy fixture schedule, but for a night like tonight, you expect the strongest possible 11 to take the pitch. I will discuss the potential impact of the substitutes later on, but first, let us revisit the comments from Stephen Naismith about the Scottish market. Naismith suggested that the gap between the Scottish Premiership and the top leagues in Europe is growing, which makes it harder for clubs like Celtic to attract players like Lewis Ferguson. While there may be some truth to the financial disparity, it ignores the unique draw of playing for the boys. The opportunity to play in the Europa League and compete for silverware every season is something that many players value over a mid-table position in a supposedly bigger league. We have seen players like On Engels choose the Green and White Army over other options because they want to experience the pressure and the glory that comes with playing at Parkhead. The recruitment strategy has shifted towards finding hungry, talented individuals who see Celtic as a destination, not just a stepping stone. Looking back at last Monday, the fallout from the Kilmarnock game also touched on the performance of the substitutes. Luke McCowan and James Forrest came on to provide the spark that was missing in the middle of the second half. This ability to change the game from the bench is what wins championships. James Forrest, a veteran of so many battles, still has the quality to produce a moment of magic when it matters most. For the younger players in the squad, like Callum Osmond and Sebastian Tunekti, having senior figures to learn from is essential. The culture at Lennox Town is one of constant improvement, and that starts from the top with Martin O'Neill and President Brian Wilson. They have created an environment where everyone knows their role and is ready to contribute. Tonight's match against Stuttgart is about more than just 3 points in the Europa League table. It is about pride and showing that the Celts belong on this stage. The journey so far has had its ups and downs, but the momentum from the 3-2 win last Sunday has arrived at the perfect time. There is a sense of belief among the players that they can overcome any obstacle. Even when the media rages like Neil McCann did, the focus remains internal. The players are not distracted by outside noise. They are focused on the tactical instructions and the physical preparation required for a high-intensity European night. The tactical analysis suggests that the boys will look to use a high press to win the ball back early. Rio Hatate will be the key to this, as his energy and ability to read the game allow him to intercept passes and start attacks immediately. If we can win the midfield battle, we control the game. On Engels has shown that he is more than capable of handling the physical side of the game, while also possessing the technical quality to split a defense. The combination of his youth and Callum McGregor's experience is a perfect blend for this level of competition. We must also be wary of the set-piece threat from Stuttgart. They have some tall players in their ranks, and our marking in the box must be much sharper than it was last Sunday. I will talk about the importance of the first 20 minutes in a moment, but first, let us consider the long-term future of the club under the current leadership. President Brian Wilson has spoken about the desire to make Celtic a regular force in the latter stages of European competitions. This requires not only investment in the squad but also in the infrastructure and the academy. Seeing players like Anthony Ralston and Dane Murray come through the ranks is a testament to the work being done behind the scenes. The goal is to create a sustainable model where the club can compete with the financial might of teams from the top 5 leagues. It is a difficult task, but the foundation is solid. Tonight, under the lights at Parkhead, the history of the club will be present in every corner of the stadium. The fans will sing their hearts out, and the players will give everything for the jersey. This is what it means to be part of the Green and White Army. There is no other feeling like it in world football. The anticipation for the kickoff is reaching a breaking point. We have the squad, we have the manager, and we have the support to make this a night to remember. Whether it is a late winner like last Sunday or a dominant performance from start to finish, the goal is clear. We want a victory that resonates across Europe. As we look at the potential lineup, there are a few interesting dilemmas for Martin O'Neill. Does he start with the raw pace of Joel Mvuka to catch Stuttgart off guard, or does he go with the experience of Daizen Maeda? Does Alistair Johnston play a more reserved role to counter the Stuttgart left winger, or is he given the license to bomb forward as he usually does? These are the tactical nuances that will decide the outcome of the game. My feeling is that the manager will opt for a balanced approach, trusting his key players to deliver on the big occasion. The atmosphere will be a significant factor, and the players must use it to their advantage without becoming overawed by the situation. Before I give you my final thoughts and prediction, let us think about the impact of the fans one more time. The Parkhead faithful are the heartbeat of the club. Their loyalty through thick and thin is what defines the Celts. When Neil McCann and others criticize the team, it only serves to strengthen the bond between the supporters and the players. We are a family, and we look after our own. Tonight, that unity will be on full display. The Green and White Army will be loud, they will be proud, and they will be the driving force behind the team. The Europa League is a prestigious competition, and tonight's clash with Stuttgart is a highlight of the group stage. We have seen some incredible matches in this tournament over the years, and this one has all the ingredients to be another classic. The technical quality on display from both sides will be of the highest order. For those watching at home and for those lucky enough to be in the stadium, it is a night to cherish. The journey of the boys in Europe is a story that continues to evolve, and tonight is the next chapter. In conclusion, the momentum from last Sunday's 3-2 victory, despite the complaints from Neil McCann, has set us up perfectly for tonight. Kasper Schmeichel's high Uefa ranking gives us confidence in goal, and the decision to move on from targets like Lewis Ferguson shows a clear vision for the squad. Martin O'Neill has the players focused and ready for the challenge that Stuttgart presents. It will be a night of high drama, tactical intrigue, and hopefully a celebration for the Parkhead faithful. My prediction for tonight is a hard-fought 2-1 victory for the Celts. I believe the home advantage and the individual quality of players like Jota and Rio Hatate will be the difference. It might be a nervous finish, much like last Sunday, but the boys have the character to see it through. Let us get behind the team and show Europe what Celtic Football Club is all about. If you want to stay updated with all the latest news, tactical breakdowns, and exclusive content regarding the Green and White Army, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You do not want to miss any of the action as we follow the boys on this incredible journey. Join the community of the most passionate fans in the world and stay tuned for more in-depth analysis. Subscribe now to be part of the Green and White Army.